Is there anything more painful in professional sports than watching a hero become a burden right before your eyes? Welcome back, everyone. We need to have a serious, perhaps uncomfortable conversation about the state of the Philadelphia Phillies as we barrel toward the 2026 season. The air in the city of brotherly love is thick with tension, and it's not just about the expectations of another World Series run. It's about a $20 million question mark standing in right field. We are talking, of course, about Nick Castellanos. The reports coming out of the front office are no longer just whispers. They are becoming a deafening roar. The relationship between Castellanos and manager Rob Thomson, it's reportedly fracturing. The offensive production, it's slipping into dangerous territory. And the defense? Well, let's just say it's becoming a liability that a championship-caliber team simply cannot afford to carry anymore. This isn't just about one player having a slump. This is about the fundamental architecture of the Phillies roster. We are looking at a scenario where the organization is actively weighing the pros and cons of outright releasing a two-time All-Star or finding a desperate trade partner to eat some of that massive contract. Think about the gravity of that. We are talking about a guy who was supposed to be a cornerstone of this lineup, a guy who brought swagger and power to Citizens Bank Park. Now, he's the subject of trade pitches that involve salary dumps and lottery ticket prospects. The latest buzz involves a potential deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates, a move that would send Castellanos across the state in exchange for a young catching prospect, Edgleen Perez. But why now? Why is the urgency ramping up as spring training approaches? It's because the Phillies are in a championship window that is wide open, but windows don't stay open forever. Every roster spot, every dollar of the luxury tax, and every at-bat matters. When you have a player posting a negative bWAR, meaning he is statistically hurting the team more than a replacement-level player from AAA would, you have to make ruthless decisions. The front office knows this. The fans know this. And deep down, Castellanos probably knows this too. The conflict here is palpable. Do you hold onto a veteran hoping for one last spark, or do you cut the cord to save the ship? This is the drama that defines the offseason, and right now, Philadelphia is ground zero for the toughest decision in baseball. To truly understand the magnitude of this Castellanos situation, we have to look in the rearview mirror. Philadelphia is a city that remembers everything, the triumphs, yes, but vividly the failures. This isn't the first time the Phillies have found themselves shackled to a big-money contract that didn't age gracefully. Remember the latter years of Ryan Howard's deal? The intent was pure, the loyalty was there, but the production simply couldn't match the paycheck, and it handcuffed the franchise's ability to pivot for years. We are seeing eerie parallels here. When the Phillies signed Castellanos, it was a statement move. It was about adding thump to a lineup that needed to intimidate. And for a while it worked. He was an all-star in 2023. He had moments that made the bank shake. But baseball is a cruel, "What have you done for me lately" business. Let's break down the mechanics of this proposed trade to Pittsburgh. The idea is that the Pirates, desperate for a bat after missing out on other targets, would take Castellanos to be their primary designated hitter. This is a crucial detail. In Philadelphia, Castellanos is forced to play the field where his defensive metrics have been, frankly, abysmal. By moving him to a DH role in Pittsburgh, you theoretically unlock his bat by removing the mental and physical toll of playing defense. It's a classic change of scenery gamble that we've seen pay off in MLB history before. Think about how many aging sluggers found a second wind when they stopped worrying about chasing fly balls and focused entirely on mashing fastballs. The Pirates need a bopper, someone to protect their younger hitters, and despite the decline, Castellanos still has that reputation. However, the cost of doing business here is steep. The Phillies would likely have to eat about $10 million of the remaining salary just to facilitate the move. That is the stupid money tax coming back to bite. Historically, when teams have to pay players not to play for them, it signals a massive evaluation error. But if you look at the return, Edgleen Perez, a 19-year-old catcher in Single A, it shows you exactly how the market values Castellanos right now. They aren't trading for a blue-chip prospect, they are trading for salary relief and a roster spot. It's a salary dump, plain and simple. This reminds me of the moves we saw in the early 2010s, where bloated contracts were shuffled around just to clear the decks. The Phillies are trying to avoid the sunk cost fallacy, the idea that just because you paid a lot for something, you have to keep using it. Moving on might be expensive, but keeping him could cost them wins. Let's get into the weeds, folks, because the numbers paint a picture that emotion sometimes obscures. We need to talk about cap hit and opportunity cost. If Castellanos stays and plays every day in right field, what is the cost? It's not just the $20 million. It's the defensive runs saved that aren't being saved. It's the rallies that die because of a strikeout in a key spot. Projections for 2026 have Castellanos hitting around .254 with 19 home runs and an OPS of .727. In a vacuum, those are serviceable numbers for a bottom-of-the-order bat. But for a middle-of-the-order cornerstone, that is pedestrian. That is replaceable. And in a division as brutal as the NL East, serviceable gets you third place. Now imagine the scenario where this trade actually goes through. The Phillies free up roughly $10 million and a roster spot. What does that unlock? It allows Dave Dombrowski to be aggressive at the trade deadline or sign a late-market free agent who offers elite defense or high-velocity relief pitching. It changes the chemistry of the clubhouse. If the reports about friction with Rob Thomson are true, removing that tension is addition by subtraction. You cannot quantify the value of a cohesive locker room where everyone is pulling in the same direction. If Castellanos is unhappy, or if the manager has lost faith in him, that poison spreads. It affects the young guys, it affects the focus. But let's play devil's advocate. What if they trade him and he goes to Pittsburgh and hits 30 home runs? It's the nightmare scenario for every GM. The ex-player curse. We've seen it happen. A player leaves the pressure cooker of Philadelphia, goes to a smaller market with less media scrutiny, and suddenly remembers how to hit. The Pirates could bump Ryan O'Hearn to the outfield, slot Castellanos at DH, and suddenly have a formidable heart of the order. Meanwhile, the Phillies are left with a 19-year-old catcher who is years away from a majors. The fan base is split right down the middle on this. Half the city is screaming, "Drive him to the airport," while the other half is terrified of giving away a power bat for peanuts. It's a high-stakes poker game, and the Phillies are holding a hand they don't quite know how to play. So, where does this leave us? We are standing at a crossroads. The Philadelphia Phillies are a team built to win now. They do not have the luxury of patience. The Nick Castellanos experiment, for all its highs and lows, seems to have reached its expiration date. The projected stats, a .727 OPS and sub-20 homers, are simply not enough to justify the price tag or the defensive liability. The fact that a trade with the Pirates is even being discussed shows that the front office is looking for an escape hatch. They are willing to eat cash and take a flyer on a teenager just to reshape the roster dynamic. That speaks volumes. If this trade happens, it's a signal that the Phillies are prioritizing flexibility and defense over raw, declining power. It's a modern baseball move. It's cold, it's calculated, and it might be exactly what this team needs to get over the hump. But if they keep him, they are betting on a renaissance that the data suggests isn't coming. They are betting that the tension with the manager can be smoothed over with a few wins. It is a massive gamble, and in a season where the World Series is the only acceptable outcome, gambling on a declining asset is a dangerous game. Now, I want to hear from you. This is the pulse of the report. I want you to go to the comments section right now and tell me, do you pull the trigger on this trade? Do you eat the $10 million and send Castellanos to Pittsburgh for a prospect? Or do you ride it out and hope he finds his all-star form one last time? Is he a scapegoat? Or is he the anchor dragging this offense down? Don't just watch, participate. Hit that like button if you want the front office to be aggressive, and subscribe because we are going to be tracking every single move of this offseason. The stove is hot, and we are just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.